it's really depending on the goals of the man in question and where he's experiencing the difficulties.
So if he's at the top of the funnel, so when we talk about funnels, if we have the top of the funnel is, you're meeting people, maybe a little bit further down the funnel is you're, having some kind of relationship with them short term. And then at the very bottom of the funnel might be like marriage and kids.
Sure.
So at the very top, so if they come in at the top of the funnel and they've got problems just like meeting people, where do you start?
That's a tough one. I think it's a good idea in today's day and age to have kind of a dual strategy. I think that you can use the apps for what the apps are good for, but overly relying on them as a solution for your dating woes is probably not correct. You're going to have to get out there and get better at your people skills, because even if you do match with somebody, if you're more of an introvert, if you have a lot of social anxiety, even if you manage to get someone off the app into the real world, you might be able to blow it because you're going to be nervous, you're going to be uncharismatic, you're not going to know how to lead the encounter in the direction of a sexual experience if that's what you're looking for. So it's generally a good idea to get out there. There's really no antidote. There's no better solution than doing it. It's just like learning a language. You have to speak it. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to be embarrassed. It's going to feel frustrating and impossible until it doesn't. So unfortunately, everything that you can say or read or listen to is just prelude to going out there and doing it and failing enough times and learning from your mistakes until you have a reasonable hit rate.
But how do I increase my probability that a woman will give me that chance and then stick with me? Like, how do I increase my chance of being attractive? Are there things I can do? Do I need to go hit the gym?
Sure. Like when I talk about in the book is that everyone can be more attractive than they currently are. And if you're having a problem in that initial funnel, it's generally a marketing issue. Because think about it, on an app, it's 6 pictures and 3 responses. In a meat market, it's, hey, how you doing? And it's like, she's going to give me a once over. She already gave me the side eye. And she's going to kind of make a snap judgment based on the vibe that I'm giving out, right? Neither one of those has anything to do with really who I am as a person. That's one of the things, is that they can't really reject you because they haven't spent any time getting to know you. For better or for worse, if they like you or not, they like the idea of you. They like the presentation of you. And it's really important not to disabuse people of that presentation too quickly.
Okay, so to think about your exterior marketing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because that's what men do.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't go up to women randomly. They think, oh man, she's pretty cute, right? They're paying attention to the surface marketing as well.
What can I do with my surface marketing to make me more attractive?
Well, you got to focus on what you can control, because generally when we go down this road, what I hear from men online is, well, that's all well and good, Orion, but I'm 5'6", I'm balding. Women aren't going to like me. And it's like, yeah, if you don't have some of the genetic markers, it is more difficult, but everyone can get better at what they do. And on some level, the less conventionally attractive that you are, the more you have to learn seduction, the more you have to learn game. You have to think about the fact that attractiveness is not normally distributed across any population, right? Mm-hmm. There's going to be a small subset of men and women who are just absolutely gorgeous, some that are, ooh, wow, that's interesting. And most people are kind of in the middle, right? And seduction is the process of being able to direct attention to your purposes. And the more that you can learn how to direct attention for your purposes, the more that you can overcome some of the liabilities associated with being, let's say, in the fat part of the curve when it comes to attractiveness.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Well, you have to kind of learn what works. I think one of the things that all men can learn from the pickup community is that they were basically behavioral scientists. Some of them went to the field and said, okay, if I knew what I was doing, I'd be laid by now. I'd be awash in optionality. So maybe I don't know what women want. Maybe I don't know what works. Let's let the outcome teach me what I should believe, as opposed to going to women with a preconceived notion about what should work or what they should want. And that's why on some level you got what on the surface seems like some ridiculous strategies like peacocking. It's like some men look at that and I would never do that. That's just so ostentatious and extravagant, but it can attract attention. That's a very, let's say, heavy-handed way to do so.
For someone that doesn't know what peacocking is, how would you describe it?
Dressing a little bit more flamboyantly to attract attention.
Or like a flamboyant feature, or like it could be a crazy hat you have
It could be a
on.
crazy hat. Flavor Flav had the big clock around his neck. I don't know if I just dated myself with that reference. But and sometimes it's just looking sharp. I mean, by far, one of the best things that men can do is just spend $1,000 or $2,000 to get like 2 or 3 really good outfits. You can just cycle through them when you're dating, especially in some marketplaces. LA is tough. New York is tough, but it is so easy to be the best dressed man in San Francisco. I swear to God, it does not take that much effort. And if you're the best dressed man in the room, you get like 1 free point. Can you imagine? Some women have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on cosmetic surgery to get 1 extra point. Some men just need to put some clothes on and get a better haircut. You know what I'm saying? And they refuse to do that for whatever reason.
What other things should I be thinking about in terms of seduction? If I want to be, because one of the central things I need to understand, as you said, that the pickup artist community learned is what actually leads to the outcome. Because if I was to ask a woman, hey, how can I become more attractive to a woman? I guess what she might say to me is, be nice, I don't know.
I've asked that question to so many women in my life, and I've never gotten a good answer, because that's almost always the response is, I want a kind man. I want a man who I feel safe with. I want a man who is loving. And usually the guy in question is listening to that and be like, well, what the fuck's the problem? It's like, I'm kind of shit. Like, I don't get it. Like, I need to be kinder. And they start to lean into that even more. And I don't think that these women are necessarily lying to these men, but they're leaving out the most important part. One of my most popular YouTube videos is the part that women always leave out, that speaks exactly to this problem, which is that women do want those things that they list off when men ask them that question. They just want them from the men that they're attracted to. They want the men they're attracted to be kind and to be loving and to be generous and to make them feel safe. But it's not like being kind and generous and making women feel safe is going to lead them to feeling attracted to you. And that's the part that women leave out, and men in their, let's say, naive but good-hearted intention to give women what they want and to be a better mate for them, they just totally lose out on. So it's better to be attractive. Like, if you want to be good at the game of mating and dating, you have an easier time the more attractive that you present yourself. You get more opportunities for selection. You get more beneficial arrangements in the negotiation process, and it's easier to maintain your relationship in the long run against your intersexual competition as well. So there's all kinds of privileges and benefits to being attractive, and everyone can be more attractive than they currently are.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.